Make sure that we're like, okay, got it.
Okay. Hey everybody, Jeff aka GCurse here with Aaron aka Anavrin. Hey, I
Hey,
got it
everybody.
right.
You did. Perfect.
Yeah. This is episode 1 of Shooting the Shit with Aaron Anavrin and Jeff aka GCurse. Basically, we're just gonna be talking, just trying since it helps us relieve stress, I guess you could say.
Yeah, totally.
So today, me and Aaron, we kind of decided that we each named one topic we'd like to talk about, and then we're gonna have 2 wild cards. So Aaron will have his own wild card, which he can decide what he wants to talk about, and I'll have my own that I'll decide what I want to talk
And
about.
they're
And
secret from each other, right? Like
yeah,
you don't know what I'm gonna choose for wild card, and I don't know what you're gonna choose.
oh god, I'm dreading what you pick. It's probably gonna have something to do with like really crappy TV shows or something like.
It's something close to that, I think.
Okay.
Something you probably won't like, right?
Okay.
That I'm gonna try to defend the
Yeah,
best I can.
that's okay. So let's see here. I'm split. Okay, split screen. So the first, hold on. No. The first, come on. There it goes.
We can see the artwork. That's good.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up. See here. Shit. So tonight, the first topic will be Aaron's topic, which is movies.
Yes.
And then the second topic will be one I picked, which is battle scars. Now, I don't mean that necessarily mean like battle scars, like we went to alleys and beat the shit out of people. Those kind of scars, just like injuries and stuff we've got while we were growing up. Yeah.
I've never actually beat the shit out of anybody in an alley. So.
Oh, I could have thought you were the type of person that Saturday night you would go into Longview, into the alleys on Commerce looking for the nearest person. You just start ruffling them up, man. Where's the money, Lebowski?
It's not that much different. That I used to go on Friday night fun runs, but honestly, like when you're running in the middle of the night, like 2 a.m, all over town, people are more afraid of you than you would ever be of them.
Yeah,
so.
because it's nighttime and you're running, they're probably thinking, "Oh God, this guy just hold up something."
It was funny though, because like the cops sometimes would stop me and be like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm just running," and they're like, "Well, why are you out here?" Like,
exercise, man, exercise.
Hey, I own the night. That's why.
You are the night.
Right.
Yeah, it reminds me actually when I, a few years ago, when it must be like the first or the second summer after I started going to college, I would actually do laps around the mall at nighttime.
Oh yeah.
And it would be like after the mall closed. I think the mall closes now like at an ungodly early time, which is odd. But
yeah.
And the thing is, I'd be walking, and they have security that patrols.
Right.
So that I'd be walking.
The cops.
They'd see me and thinking, "Oh God, what's he doing?"
Right. And they got to think we're tweakers. I mean,
yeah. Well,
it is Callis County.
Yeah, it is Callis County. Tweaker is about as it's like the national treasure next to the squirrel.
Exactly.
Longview has their freaking weird obsession with squirrels.
That's true. Right. Well, the Nutty Narrows Bridge is probably Longview's biggest claim to fame.
Okay, so let's see here. I think I actually have. Oh, here we go. So I know this isn't exactly the most professional step. I gotta look into see how I can do it a lot better. But
no, that's great. I like it.
Well, I'm talking about where you can see like the like the little menu and stuff. I just want the picture itself. Gotcha. But anyway, so movies. So you started, Aaron, since you.
Well, so I picked this topic, and I could talk movies probably all day, every day, forever. But I kind of just wanted to talk about my theory of movies, I guess.
Your theory of movies, you said?
Yeah, like just kind of what they meant for me. Like movies to me have been like religion, and then quoting movies is like scripture to me.
Okay.
I mean, I was raised religious, but then I kind of gave up on all that when I was about 17. And 17 is when I also started going to the movies all the time. So I turned 17 in 1994. And then, so when you're 17, you can watch R-rated movies. Like it's the only cool thing about being 17. Like most of the things are 18, right? Like smoking cigarettes and.
I thought smoking cigarettes was 16 though.
Is it 16?
I thought it was 16. because
I'm not sure.
I remember being back in high school, and I was about 16 just prior to dropping out, and a lot of students, hey, can you walk up to AM/PM because Kelso High is right next to AM/PM. It's
Right.
like no, I'm not going to get in trouble for you guys.
They wanted you to
Okay,
buy him cigarettes.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So
but go ahead. Sorry.
when I turned 17, so I grew up in an evangelical church and I went to Christian school. And so we weren't like allowed to watch R-rated movies or any of that kind of stuff. So it was like Pandora's box opening when I turned 17. I would go to Hollywood Video and rent like 10 movies a week. I'd go to the theater like at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. But Pulp Fiction came out in 1994 and I saw it 7 times in the theater.
Wow.
And that's not, I mean, that's the most I've ever seen a movie in the theater. But what's interesting is I was born in 1977, which was the year that Star Wars came out. And my father watched Star Wars 7 times in the theater. And that was before they got super religious and churchy. But so anyway, movies have been like the thing I've learned the most from and the thing that have like taught me things. And so like in my head, like I'll quote a movie line and then like it'll inform me like about my life choices.
Does he look like a bitch? That's one of the ones from Pulp Fiction.
No,
Yeah,
that's a classic.
and then the whole English motherfucker.
Do you speak it? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
Samuel
Aaron,
Jackson's classic.
do you know what they call a quarter pounder in England?
Royale with cheese.
I like what John Travolta said. How the fuck would I know? I'm not from there or something like that.
Right. They said they wouldn't know what the fuck a quarter pounder is.
Yeah.
They use a metric system.
Now, I'm not sure if it's just me or it's just I don't. I like the idea of going to movies, see movies, but I have not done it in 20 plus years.
You're kidding.
Actually.
You've never been to the theater in that long?
Nah. The last time.
That's like not going to church for me.
The last time I actually went to a movie theater to see a movie was back in 2000, and it was I think it was late 2000. Here, let me pull up the.
Yeah, you can go by release date. That's what I love about movies is like if you saw it while it was in the theater, you essentially know where you were.
Yeah.
Within a couple of weeks or months at a certain period of time. It's like time travel.
IMDb.com.
What movie?
But the movie was Pokemon the movie 2000.
Oh yes.
And
is that where was Pikachu and Mewtwo? Like
no, that was the very first movie.
Oh, okay.
I
only saw the first one.
Movie 2000. Now we'll see if this actually. It's. Of course, it's. Oh, there it goes. Oh, computer's lagging a little bit, but
I gotta get a new PC. I think eventually.
Good luck with the way that 19. That can't be right. 1999. No, that wasn't. I'm wondering if this was the Japanese time that release date.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, would have released there first.
Yeah, because I remember seeing the first Pokemon movie that came out. I think that was like 98 or 99. That was at the Kelso Theater.
Yeah.
Well, the Pokemon the movie 2000, I watched at the Longview Regal Cinema before they closed it down.
Gotcha. That is a church now. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Father's house.
they actually bought that place and oh god, I think it was during like 2016 or 2017. I was still going to college at the time, and I was wondering honestly what they were going to do with it because
there's no windows, like it's weird.
But hey, if they spent the money on it, let them do with it whatever they want, I guess.
So,
but the reason I remember that going to see that movie wasn't because it was Pokemon the movie itself, because I'll be honest, I can't really remember shit about that movie. But it was the trailers. And there was one specific trailer that got my attention. It was Godzilla 2000. And the only reason I remember that trailer was for 2 reasons. There was a guy, your stereotypical Japanese guy looking at the camera. It was supposed to, then it goes to a far off scene, and he goes, Godzilla! And the thing is, it goes, and you see Godzilla running ahead of him in the water, like going towards land.
Right.
That's the first reason I remember that movie. And then the second reason I remember is because they had Super Beast from Rob Zombie as the soundtrack playing in that.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so
That's cool. So you wanted to see the preview, but you didn't actually see the movie?
yeah. But the thing is, I have Roku,
Oh
and I'm
yeah.
not sure. You know what Roku is, right?
Yeah.
Well, one of the apps I have on it, it's been so long, I'm not even sure if the app is still working because a lot of apps are kind of illegal because they show things that they're not supposed to.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And one of these apps had, oh god, the Godzilla movies in them, and the app was originally taken down, and I'm guessing they found a way to get it back up, and then I started working, and then I just stopped watching, but they had almost all the Godzilla movies,
Oh well.
and then what was the late? My question to you, real quickly, is what was the latest movie you've seen?
Oh, most recently, like in the theater?
Yeah,
Or
or the newest movie you've seen, whatever. Yeah.
oh well, I just I mean a newer movie that I watched recently was A Quiet Place, not the sequel, because I was actually thinking I might go to the movies to see A Quiet Place too.
Well, you're gonna be moving pretty soon, so you better, because you're gonna be busy for a few weeks moving.
I've checked out the theaters in Spokane already. They've got AMC and Regal theaters.
Ooh,
They've
wow.
got a theater that shows independent films and documentaries. Like, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. Hey, you're gonna be in heaven then,
Yeah.
And who knows? You may be able to get a nice theater where you're not gonna have crackheads messing with you and stuff.
I actually I've never had trouble in Longview. And like even the times like when I worked at LCC, like there was a time where there was a tweaker out, and one of my students was parking, and he was giving her crap.
Yeah.
And she came in and she was upset, so I was pissed, and I went out there to talk to him, and his pupils were dilated, like,
oh geez,
like to the point where they're like needle points.
Yeah.
But he was psychotic. He believed that he had made a discovery of dinosaur bones. He was looking at the roots of a tree and saying that he made this discovery of dinosaur bones, and he was trying to dig it up, and if her car was there, he was afraid it was going to get dirt on it.
Oh.
Like he was just in a different world,
Yeah.
different planet. But what's funny was I walked her out to her car when she was done, and he apologized to her. And
well, that's good, at least.
Yeah, so like he was not hostile at all to me. Like if you don't bring the hostile energy, they usually don't freak out. But the other thing I was going to say was growing up in Longview and Kelso, it's probably one of the best places for a movie lover to grow up. We had the drive-in theater, we had the dollar theater, we had a $1.50 theater that over in Longview that showed double features. So it was $1.50. You could watch two movies. I watched Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey and Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead as a double feature. I watched that 7 times too.
Now, I'm not sure if you are aware of it, but I can't recall the name of it, but on Commerce, there is that old theater.
Yeah, that's the one that showed the double features for 75 cents.
The thing is, in the early 2000s, it closed down.
Yeah.
Well, I actually remember there being an actual rumor, and I'll be honest, I was hoping that it would come true, but I heard a rumor that a company was going to buy it, and they were going to actually turn it into a strip club.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, if that, because at that time I was old enough, like 2000, I was like 18 or 19, So I'm like, I would be like, hey, if possible, I want to become a bouncer, because I think I'm big enough to be a bouncer,
That's true. A bouncer, but that's a pretty good job.
I waited and I waited and I waited, and sadly it never turned into a strip club.
They turned into a skate park for a while. I mean, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And now they're back to a theater, aren't they?
Yep. Like stage plays and stuff.
But, and see, for me, the latest movie, and this just goes to show how, like, I have a shit ton of movies. I have a DVD player, but it's not hooked up in my room. And 99% of the time when I go lay down in my room, I just watch YouTube and I just go to sleep letting YouTube play now.
Yeah.
The latest movie, that I watch it's on DVD, of course. Deadpool 2.
Oh, I love Deadpool 2.
But that came out, I think that came out like what, 2017, 2018 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was just after I graduated from college, So
what's weird was like, it was really sad. The beginning, because spoiler alert, everyone, if you haven't seen Deadpool 2, when the girlfriend who his fiance dies, like that was pretty brutal. And then they have the Celine Dion song.
Did
which
he
is just a beautiful song.
did he hear that they're actually trying to do a third movie?
I hope so. I mean, Ryan Reynolds is liquid gold these days.
Yeah.
Everything he touches is successful, and he's hilarious. So.
Yeah, and there's a couple rumors, well, a lot of rumors coming out about Marvel. Apparently, Disney wants Daredevil to be part of the MCU.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then another rumor is Ryan Reynolds is coming out saying that apparently Disney wants him to be like kind of like the new face of the MCU, like how not Tony Stark, but Robert Downey was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then just a little bit ago, I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of hers. I've seen like clips and everything. I'm just not a fan. The woman who plays Miss Marvel,
Oh,
whatever her name is.
Is it Brie Larson?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
I didn't like that movie either.
every time I've seen her, she doesn't smile.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I'm not sure what it is. You can have a straight face, but once in a while, crack a fucking
Show some
smile.
emotion.
Yeah, and it's like she's always so fucking tough. That's okay to be tough. I mean, fucking emote.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, if you think about it, like Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, like she's hilarious. Like she makes little jokes. Like
yeah,
she's sexy. Like she kind of does all of the stuff. And I feel like Miss Marvel is really flat, and it doesn't really feel like it feels kind of like tacked on. Like it doesn't feel as much part of the universe to me
yeah.
either.
I think they just put her in there just to try to say, hey, look, we're just shoving, putting as much as you got enough yet? Oh no,
Right.
Here, let's just
Here we go. Right. And there's still, I still like all those movies. And I still liked, like I saw Wonder Woman. I liked it. I saw Wonder Woman 1984. I liked it. I won't watch those again. I mean, those are one and done sort of movies.
Yeah.
But I almost like every movie. That's the other thing that's weird about me. Like even really terrible movies, I like. So
that's why I don't go by what reviewers say. I'm the type of person like, yeah, okay, good for you. Fuck off, you reviewed it.
right.
Who gives a shit?
Right.
I'm the type of person that will watch movies that everybody, even the fandom of video, property IPs, looking at this picture, like Jason Voorhees. Okay.
Yeah.
The fandom notoriously shits on Friday the 13th Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. I'll be honest, I like the motherfucker.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's the one where, of course, where he takes over what we call New Coover, because it's supposed to be New York, but they only got New York for a couple days, so the majority of it was filmed in Vancouver, BC.
Oh, okay.
So we call it New Coover, But yeah, it's like, it seems like everything after like Friday 13th 1 through 4 loved.
Yeah.
5 through 7, it's okay.
Right.
8 and beyond, absolute shit according to the fandom.
Yeah.
And me, I like 8. I love 8. I hated Jason Goes to Hell. I fucking hated Jason X. I'll admit,
we're the opposite on that one.
I'll be honest. In the very beginning, I did like it, but then again, Jason X was like the very first Friday 13th DVD that I got. So I think that's why I liked it. But once I got the other ones, and I looked at that one compared to the others.
Right. So it's, Jason 10 does not fit with you. It's campy, like the early ones, but it's space campy. And it has my 2 favorite deaths probably in all of the Friday the 13th.
Let me guess,
movies.
Sleeping Bag and the face.
Yes, exactly. And I saw that in the movie theater too. And I love B movies. I love bad horror movies. So when they're getting up to like the 10th, I'm wanting them to be a little campy. And like the sleeping bag death was like the best thing
ever. Freddy versus Jason, that was okay for what it was.
You actually recommended that one to me when we were at LCC, and I liked it.
Well, I think for what they did regarding Freddy versus Jason, I don't think there is nothing that they could do that would make that movie like gold. Sure. I think that they did the best with what they had, and that's what we got.
It's way better than like Alien versus Predator or something, like other times when they've tried.
Yeah.
Which you try, those movies could be good if someone really cared about them, but they're just terrible.
Yeah, those were just cash grabs.
Yeah.
But for me, regarding Friday the 13th, for me, the best ones, like the ones I constantly watch, are the first 4.
Yeah.
And then the rest, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I watch if I'm wanting to see zombie Jason,
Yes.
or
Exactly.
or that paramedic guy Roy,
Right.
and then like fucking if somebody goes, hey Jeff, you want to watch Friday 13th? Sure, which one? How about Freddy or Jason Goes to Hell or Jason X? I don't fucking know you. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. But
Oh,
and
it's that
then
extreme.
yeah. Since we got the images here. Halloween. I'll be honest. Halloween 1, 2, and 3. Even though Halloween 3 is not really a Halloween movie because
Yeah, he's not even in that one, is he? Is that the
oh,
one he's
he's
not?
in like as a trailer on TV.
Oh, okay.
I like the first 3, and then I like the 2018. I think it was 2018 or 2017. The continuation of the very first one.
That had Jamie Lee Curtis in it too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that one actually.
Well, when you
Weirdly.
get to Spokane, I'm pretty sure that they should have some places that sell DVDs or whatever, or you can always go through like Voodoo or something and get it that way.
Yeah, we have Amazon Prime. I just don't know if it's
Yeah.
on there or not.
And then Freddy Krueger, since he's on the picture here, basically really A Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and 2 are my most favorite ones. Part 3, and then everything else is like, yeah.
Yeah, it got really kind of silly. It was all silly and gory.
Yeah, the 1 and 2 really had that fucking darkness to it. That's what I really liked about 1 and 2.
Right, and really scaring people, and your two fears, like being vulnerable when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Right. I can't even remember what I was going to say on the other one.
And then being possessed,
Right, like you're never safe. Oh, and then just having to stay awake. I think.
Yeah.
Like forcing yourself to stay awake for fear. Like those are awful feelings. You're so tired and you're just gonna fall asleep, and then.
Yeah. Apparently, though, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, the Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
The original script was supposed to be that movie was supposed to be like as dark as 1 and 2 was.
Oh.
But apparently, I'm guessing, I don't know the story, so I may be wrong, but I'm guessing like different people were put in higher positions when producing the movie, and they wanted to go with a more slapsticky kind. They viewed number 3 as kind of like the bridge between the the first 2, and everything that came after.
Right.
And it just didn't do it because after part 3 came out, I'll be honest, it just fucking got stupid.
Yeah, it felt like it was just a cash grab thing, and like some of those I don't even think made it to the theater. I think they were straight to video.
I know they all made it to as shitty as they are. I think they all made it to theater. It's just
like in Longview. I don't remember.
Well, I don't remember that, but
a
a
lot of times movies that came to like other cities didn't ever come here. Like I remember Fargo. I really wanted to see, and it wasn't playing in town.
So what? Do you have not the 3 that you see here? Are there any horror franchises that you like?
Actually, like horror is probably my least favorite genre.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, even though I like horror movies. I mean, I usually like drama. Yeah, like that's probably my favorite. But I'm obsessed with zombie movies. I always have been. I think I've seen all of them. And I like all of them.
Have you seen the remake of it's like a 1990, it was made in 1990. It was a remake of Night of the Living Dead.
I'm pretty sure I have. It wasn't Return of the Living Dead?
No, it was Night of the Living Dead. It had the guy who played in the African American role. It had the guy who played the Candyman.
I did see that. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember that one very well though for some reason.
But yeah, that's a pretty faithful remake of A Night of the Living Dead. And there's actually a little bit of a story to that. The reason that they actually made that movie was when George Romero made the first Night of the Living. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was on his end or the movie producers or whatever, but apparently the paperwork was never filed from what I heard, and there was no trademark set up, no copyright.
You're kidding? Oh
my
goodness.
So Romero went decades without getting royalties at all for that movie.
Terrible.
And that's why you can actually find Night of the Living Dead. If you like, I'm pretty sure you can find it on YouTube because there's no protections for it. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense because I think Riff Tracks did Night of
Yeah.
the Living Dead, the
Yeah.
original. So it probably, and they always do ones that are out of copyright or whatever they
Yeah.
can just find.
So they basically did the remake as a way of trying to, give George some money back for what he did.
I do remember liking the remake better than the original. I know that's probably blasphemy to the
I don't
original, but the
know.
original is kind of slow.
Well, I think was meant to be like that. I think they focused more on the conflict
Mm,
on the inside of the house. I'm not saying there wasn't conflict on the inside of the house in the remake, but they really wanted to dive into that because at that time there was the whole, race issue,
true.
and they had Dwayne Jones as like, I think they said he was like one of the very first African American main
Leads.
character leads. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that because like it became fairly normal, but that was 67. So I mean that
Yeah.
was when people were getting arrested for interracial marriage.
Yeah.
It's amazing how fast things change.
And I could only imagine like in the deep South states, like when that movie came out, when
Yeah.
Dwayne literally slapped the female,
Right.
Oh, I'm pretty sure there were some people who are anti, black people, like they
Right.
probably lost their fucking minds when they saw that shit, like how dare he,
I kind of like it when they lose their minds. Oh, the other thing I was going to say was I loved the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was one of my favorite first experiences watching a film. It scared the shit out of me when I was younger, just because I felt like that could be real. Like I felt like you could be wandering and meet this messed up family when you need some gas, and then you're just screwed. Whereas the other things, like I don't really believe in anything supernatural, and so I'm not usually that scared of supernatural horror.
Yeah.
But just to think of like serial killers, so like Silence of the Lambs, that's one of my favorites. I don't think that counts as horror. But
Going back to Texas Chainsaw, that was another one where the franchise really started off on a high, really scary and really good.
Yeah.
And then it just fucking took a nosedive right into a pile of shit.
What's interesting, and I can't, Toby Hooper was the director, and he was probably like your age, I think. I mean, I think he was a little bit younger than me when he made the first film, and he made it with students. I don't think he was a film instructor, but he was some kind of teacher, like a history teacher or something at a college, and he or something like that. But he used other teachers and students to make that movie, and it does have a real student film sort of feel to it.
The raw feeling to it.
Yeah, but like the really close-ups of the eyeball, and they have the grandpa trying to hit her in the head for old time's sake with the hammer, because he was the killer at the cow factory or whatever. Like it was just so richly disgusting and horrifying.
There should be a rule or a law when it comes to making movies. Like let's use Texas Chainsaw for example. At the end of Texas Chainsaw 2, literally everybody was killed with the exception of the female that they kidnapped. Everybody in the family was fucking dead. Like there's no coming back. They were dead.
Right.
They should not be able to make any more fucking movies in that name if everybody fucking dies. Because fucking Leatherface, he was killed, with the grenade and everything, if I remember correctly. And if I remember correctly, he also was like chainsawed in the stomach, I think.
Oh,
and
okay.
and then they had him come back for Texas Chainsaw 3. Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, oh, fuck off. He's dead. You're milking the fucking.
It is interesting how, I mean, they tend to focus on the iconic thing, right? Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, really is about the family. It's not really about Leatherface. Like he's not the main, he is kind of the main killer, I guess, and he's running around after at the end and all that scary. And he's scary, but the rest of films I felt like it was like, oh, here's Leatherface and he's the new Jason or Freddy Krueger or Mike Myers or whatever. And rather than stick to the original thing, which was like just messed up stuff. But Toby Hooper, the other thing was he had researched Ed Gein, I'm not sure how you say his name. It was a real serial killer.
Yeah.
Oh, so you know about him?
Yeah.
Who made like armchairs out of arms and like made lampshades out of human skin and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was the other thing. When it ties into like real things, like then I get scared.
But the last thing I'll say on this topic before we move on is going back to talking about how I hate that they make sequels, when it's not needed. As much as I love them, like we did not literally need a Friday 13th 2 through the rest.
Right.
Because even the director and the producer of the first Friday, the movie was over. That was it.
Yeah,
There
right. It
was
was
no
solved. It
Jason
was kind of like,
Voorhees.
it's like having Psycho 2, which they did, and Psycho 3. Like, you
Yeah.
shouldn't do that. Like, you should just let it sit.
Yeah, it's just, but no, they got money the first time, so we're gonna milk that titty until it's dry.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's see here. That moves us on to the next
Right.
topic, which is battle scars. Now, like I said, it doesn't mean like we were literally fighting and everything. These are just like stories about when we got injured, like injuries and stuff, or like you said before, you had a near-death experience while you were swimming, right?
Yeah, drowning. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll start with this one since this is my pick.
Yeah, topic.
Yeah. Your boy Jeff, boy, he was not the smartest of people when he was in kindergarten. I'll be honest. I used to go to Wallace Elementary. Now, if you're in this area, Wallace was just recently torn down. So
I
basically,
didn't even know that.
yeah, they tore it down.
Huh.
And instead of rebuilding it where they tore it down, they rebuilt it across the street, which
Interesting.
they ended up annexing a whole shit ton of houses in that area, which the houses were nice looking.
Yeah.
And maybe in a future episode I'll pull up, either walk by and take some pictures or see if it's up on Google or something. But when I was in kindergarten in 1988, and we actually had on the playground we had like a play gym thing with a whole bunch of bars and everything. And they even at one point they even had like a fire pole where kids could go down it. Well, it was just after I started going to kindergarten. I was standing by the pole, and I was not watching what I was doing. I was just standing there, and a kid, I'm not sure it was a boy or girl, but one of the students came down, kicked me right in the nose.
Oh, geez.
My nose was fucking gushing blood.
Yeah.
They got me into the school, and they could not get my nose to stop bleeding.
Oh, no.
Well, they called my mom, who was, I'm not sure if she was at work or going to college at the time, but she had to come get me and take me to the hospital. And and if I remember the way she said it, I think she said that the hospital said I had a broken nose with, well, duh, I'm bleeding like shit.
When it doesn't stop, you can kind of guess.
Yeah. And apparently after the bleeding finally did subside, I had black eyes like a raccoon.
Oh, yeah, geez.
So she then took me to an ENT because I think they said that I needed to be seen by an ENT. And they said, oh no, he didn't have a broken nose.
Really?
So where the fuck did the blood come from? It isn't like I had a pocket set up like Friday 13th with a hose,
Well, it obviously like busted some blood vessels back there, but like it must not have broke the cartilage, like.
But I'm wondering if that, because I'm not sure if I told you, but every day I'm having to use, at least once a day, I use like nasal spray and stuff to open my nose up.
Oh, yeah. If you had long-term effects from that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that has something to do with it, but that's been 20 plus years, 30 plus now.
Right.
But so there was that. And then when a lot of these things could have been prevented if I was, like I said, if I was just a little bit smarter,
yeah.
So now I lived on, let me pull up the Google Maps because this is actually something. No, that's not it. Where the hell is it? Oh, that's Zoom. Okay. Now, when me and my mom first moved to Kelso, we lived on a street called East Pine Way. Let's see here. And the street had a bad reputation for being called, let's see here, Safeway Liquor, Little Tijuana. I shit you not.
Really?
Yeah, because it was just crime ridden. And of course, now it's going to, there it goes, East Pine Way. Here we go. It was crime ridden. And like we literally, I think it was only once but I'm not sure it was more than once. But we actually had somebody break into our home while we
Okay.
were sleeping in there one night. Yeah.
Jeez.
And okay, well, now this actually looks a lot better than it did back in the day. Now, back in the day,
Wow. How could you even drive in there to park?
well, the thing is, like TNT Tire here, it
Yeah.
was not even here at the time when me and my mom moved here. It was originally a very old YMCA,
Oh.
and this was an empty lot here.
Mhm.
And then over here, where this building is right here, there's actually a little apartment here that ran right parallel to this building, and then all this was like parking and everything.
Hmm.
Well, there used to be a YMCA, in this general area where the main building is here. Well, during I think it was like 89 or 90 or whenever it was, Kelso was actually hit by an arsonist during the summer.
Really?
It turned out to be, from what I understand, it was like a woman with a mental disorder.
Interesting.
Well, going back to what I was originally saying, I used to live here. Let's see here, right here, this house right here.
Oh, okay.
Now,
When you were
now the
really
house,
little, right? Is that when you were in
yeah,
kindergarten? Or?
yeah,
Hmm.
and I don't know why the fuck they got rid of the grass, but when the fuck was this? Okay, so this was 2018. So let's go back to see if we can. So they did a little bit of more update, work to it, as you can see.
Yeah.
But this was during the summer. I was the type of child that once the sun got up, I was outside.
Hmm.
And I would ride my bike up and down this road. And my mom, she would tell me to stay in front of the house, but of course, kids gonna be kids.
Yeah.
And I was riding and I was riding and I was riding and I was riding up this way. And when I got towards like right here,
Hmm.
I took my eyes off in front of me,
Hmm.
and I was looking elsewhere, and I veered off right in this area, and I crashed face first right into this retaining wall.
Oh no.
Bam.
It's still
Oh,
there.
yes, it's still there. Bam. I'm amazed. I really should go over there and see if my face print is actually still in the wall, because oh my god, the fucking pain. They ended up, the people who lived in this house, if I remember correctly, I think they had to run and go get my mom, because I was in bad shape.
Oh yeah.
So there was that, and then the final trifecta, well, second to final, was I was at there's a pool. There still is a pool at Kelso High School. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Gator pool. Well, what's the one rule that the universal rule when you go to a pool?
Don't run.
Exactly. Don't run.
Yeah.
So there I was. Me and my mom were at Gator pool, and I can't recall if I got in the pool at all or not. But I was on the outside. I was on the side, and I decided to start running. Stupid! Don't run. Feet
It's
went
hard.
out from
It's hard when you're excited.
Yeah, feet went out from underneath me. Back of the head landed on.
Oh jeez.
My mom thought I could have had a concussion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Did you go to the hospital for that, or?
No, my grandmother, she was a nurse, and she thought the best thing to do was just keep me up, for a while to see if
Yeah, if you got nauseous and check your pupils and all that good stuff.
And so, and then the final thing, which was more my fault. Well, it's all my fault. But the final thing was that we were living in the townhouse in Longview. I mentioned it in our last episode where about the video game systems and stuff. Well, we had a 1980, I think it was either 1980 or 1981 Toyota Camry, and the fuse went out. And there was a little panel that you could remove, and it had the information. Well, me and my mom pulled it out, and I was reading it as we were going back into the townhouse. Well, there's a little pair of stairs. It's like only 2 steps,
Right.
Well, I wasn't watching because I was reading. I went where I thought the stairs were, and the stairs were there, but I didn't step down correctly. I tumbled, and I think it was my left foot at the time. It's been so long I can't recall, honestly. I think it was my left foot. but my foot literally did an L.
Eee.
Yeah. And that's why when you mentioned what happened to your family, recently, you brought up
Yeah.
things.
Did it break your ankle?
The thing is, my mom wanted me to go to the hospital.
Uh-huh.
And I refused. Call it testosterone, call it machismo, or as she just says, call it idiot,
Same thing.
Yeah.
Testosterone, machismo, idiot.
But and the thing was, she was like, "Here, let me help you," and I'm like, "No." I mean, I literally crawled on the concrete with.
Did it do all the like black and blue swelling up?
Oh,
like
it
a
did all
balloon, all
that.
that?
Yeah, yeah, it did all that, and it hurt like hell, and I was so immobilized for weeks.
Yeah.
And the thing was, this happened just before Thanksgiving of 2000.
Mm.
So, a way to ruin, Thanksgiving, kind of.
Right.
And the thing was, is like, I remember this a lot because it was one of the few times I convinced my mom, "Hey, let's go out on Black Friday."
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing was, my ankle was fucked up. So basically, I was hobbling, and they had a stereo at Target. It was like a 5 CD stereo. And I don't remember what it was. I think it was cheap, though,
Uh-huh.
And we, she was walking with me. I'm like, "No, go, 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 go." Oh, yeah. And
go on without me. Get that stereo.
And after that, it's been almost, it's not nigh impossible, but it's almost impossible to get mom to go with me to Black Friday now because she hates that whole thing, like.
Yeah, stampede.
Yeah, and I sit here wondering now because there's times I'll be walking, my foot just hurts, And I'm wondering,
you might have broke something or pulled the ligament off the bone and it healed weird, or
but okay, but your turn. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So I don't have a whole lot of actual scars, but I'm gonna give you 3 as well. Okay. 2 electrocutions and a drowning. These are all as adults too, right? So like I was fairly safe as a child. Like I didn't get hurt really that bad. I had a few concussions from playing basketball, but that was pretty normal. Unfortunately, you catch an elbow in the head here or there, hit your head on the court. But I was, let's see, my first electrocution, I was probably like 22 or 23, and I was buying, the big screen TVs. Mm-hmm. It was when they had widescreen. So it was still like the widescreens, but they were, I don't know, like 600-pound TVs, these giant TVs. Well, there was a bunch of them that they're called IC, I don't even know, controllers, and they would go bad and they would make the picture look like it was 3D because the red, blue, green would cross over. But they're really cheap and easy to repair. If you knew anything about computers and you could replace a CPU on a computer, which is just you clean it off and put new heatsink paste and put the heatsink back on, then you could replace these chips. A little bit of soldering, but big pins. It was fairly easy. And so I had started buying a few, like giving them to friends or family if I could fix them up. You'd buy them for $50, pay $25 for the repair, and you got yourself a brand new TV. And so I had gotten a 65-inch Sony, and I was fixing it at my parents' house because I was going to give it to them. And I had the wires all wired in, but it was kind of a weird board, and I had to cut one of the main wires in order to take the board out and do the repair and put it back in. Usually you can pull them out. I just couldn't get it. So I had this wire that I just had twisted. And when I plugged it in, it was making the snap noise, snap, snap, snap. And I was like, oh, what is that? And then I looked in the back and I noticed that wire I had created a little bit of gap of space as I had twisted it together. And so I was going to just reach in and pull it tight to see if that was what was causing the snapping on and off. But as I reached in, I saw it arc. So I saw like a little lightning flash go from the wire to my finger. And then it knocked me out cold. I was back there with my brother-in-law. And when I came to, I had like cuts and bruises all over my arms because I must have flopped around on the concrete.
Oh, geez.
And he was just pale. He thought I was dead. He was just as pale as he could be. And I was like, what happened? And then I soldered it together and it was fine. So I survived that one. And then a couple of years later, I think it was when I'm not sure if I was working at LCC yet. No, I wasn't at LCC yet. This was when I was working in private practice at Northwest Psychological still. But I was having, they were long days, hard days. It was, just started working in mental health and not knowing, how good I was at it. And you're coming across things that are hard to deal with. But I had been looking forward to having pizzas all day. I had this two Totino's party pizzas at home. And so I got home, popped one in the oven, went to go get it. It's cold. It's still frozen in there. The oven is not working.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, ovens aren't very complicated electrical devices. So and it was one of these in the wall ovens. It doesn't have a stovetop or anything. It's like in a trailer.
Yeah.
So I pull it out. Turn off the power, pull it out. It was wires were bad, rewired it all up. And then I wanted to test it. So I put it back in, turn the electricity back on. And the only thing I hadn't done was screw the element back in, the water heating element. Because I wanted to test it first. I thought, well, don't put all the screws in until you test it. So I tested it, heated up. It was awesome, right? Cool. So then it was too hot to screw in. So I go and sit down for a while. And then I come back to screw it in, but I forgot that I had turned the power on to test it. So as I start to screw it in, it shorted. It exploded.
Oh, geez, exploded?
I flew backwards. Well, the wire disintegrated. I flew backwards across the kitchen, landed, and my girlfriend at the time, the lights for the whole house flickered, like dimmed.
Yeah.
It was like that scene in Rambo 2 where they're like shocking him on the bed frame, and all the lights are dimming while they're going.
Yeah.
And I look at my hands, and both my hands are black.
Oh, geez.
And I thought, like, I burnt myself. I'm really scared. But it was just that the wire disintegrated and somehow like shot whatever the wire burned. So it was fine. I rewired it again, put it in there, remembered to flip the breaker this time, and had my pizza.
So now I know it's serious, but I can't help but think when you told me that you flew backwards, the first thing I got was the mental image of Marty McFly flying back from the speaker in the very first.
That was exactly what it was like. I was like, whoa. So that was probably lucky. I've shocked myself a few other times, but I think that's on a 220. Like, I think ovens, that's way more electricity than you should shock yourself with. And the TVs, not the electricity is going through them, but they have some kind of things that does amps hugely that can like stop your heart too. So it's dumb, super dumb.
Is your I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, my camera quit. I'll try to stop it and restart it.
If it doesn't work, we can just keep talking though,
Okay. Yeah.
It's probably it's just the app. Yeah. Oh, there it goes. Well, no, that's your normal background.
I thought I'd try to switch it and then switch it back to Snap. It's probably Snap's being
it's could be acting up. It's okay. You can leave it like that.
I'll just put it on stop.
Okay, but so this moves us to the final portion of the show, which is the wild cards. And I actually did some work, and so here's Aaron, a picture I did up for Aaron. Let's see if we can hold on. There he goes. How does that look, Aaron?
That looks great. I like it. I like the wild.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that came from. I just
through it
and everything.
That looks good.
So, Aaron, this is your choice. So, anything we will talk about, it's your choice wild card.
So I'm going first on this one now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about sports.
Oh God. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so you know how I feel about movies, right?
Yeah.
So what I like about sports, and I'm a nerd, right? Like, I've been a nerd most of my life. I like nerdy things. If I do anything, like I play guitar, like I do music, I do, electronics, video games, like repair, all those kind of things. But what I love about sports is two things. The first thing, the discipline it takes for an athlete to be as good as they are at what they're doing. Just the discipline it takes to like have your body in shape the way you have to be an athlete. Like, I could never do it. Like, there are times where like I've tried really hard to be in good shape or to whatever. Like, I just don't have the self-discipline that it takes to do the things they do.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, what were you gonna say?
I think, granted, they are in good shape, but also you got to remember that I may sound kind of mean saying this. They
Mhm.
have money, therefore they probably have a lot more access to services.
Well, but I'm talking about athletes even like at the amateur level. Like, I mean, all athletes started out in high
Yeah, that's
school and then
true.
they started on college, and then you get like some athletes like they don't have pro sports, like women's softball. Like I watch women's softball every year. I love the World Series, softball, NCAA softball World Series, and I've been watching that for years. It's that and the fact that athletes have to put it up every night, right? They test themselves. Like politicians run their mouths, people on the internet run their mouths, like whatever,
Yeah.
right? They never have to put anything up. You never have to get out there and like test, okay, am I as good as I say I am? Am I as tough as I say I am? All these kind of things. But athletes do. Like you can't fake it. You have to,
It's
if you're a
very true.
basketball player, you have to go out there and perform under the hardest circumstances, football players and things like that. Like if you're not getting stronger, someone else is, and they're going to
Yeah.
take you down. Go ahead.
But talking, you're right. I kind of was judgmental there when I said about how they all have access to money, and this makes me remember. I work at Mark Morris, as you know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say names because I don't want to get anybody in trouble or anything.
Sure.
But there's a student there, and I see a lot of potential in this kid,
Mm-hmm.
and I think pretty I'll I can't, like I said, I can't give names, but I see potential in him, and he has ambition. He is actually hoping that he wants to he wants to either be on he wants to try to be on the either Utah Jazz
Oh.
or the Portland Trailblazers. Which when he said Portland, I gave him encouragement. Like you're gonna be on Blazers at school, but honestly, I'm not a fan of the Blazers.
You're not.
To me, they're overhyped. But then
Oh.
again, but I
Well,
told
we're so desperate for football. I mean, for basketball around this area
yeah.
because we had the Sonics, like, and
Well, I
so.
told him that if the Sonics ever do come back, because there's been for God knows how long, there has been a push to get the Sonics to come back.
Yeah.
I told him if you ever get on the Sonics, I gave them my word, so part of me does hope, but then again, part of me is like, oh shit, that's like a $500 investment each year. I told him I would fucking get season tickets
Whoa.
to the Sonics just to see him play. That way I can see like that guy. I know that guy.
Well, you're probably safe, but yeah, that would be pretty expensive.
Yeah, but
So like I thought, like a lot of people don't like sports. And I know that you're like not a huge fan, but
yeah,
the other thing is like I grew up, my grandpa had a gambling problem, but he gambled on sports. And so we watched sports all the time and we took it really seriously, like statistically seriously.
yeah. He was deep into that shit.
Right. He loved horse races too. And we would go back then there was no internet, right?
Yeah.
So he kept newspapers from
Oh
like
jeez.
all the way back from like the 50s
Oh man.
of every race, that every horse and every horse's son and daughter or grandson or like generations of horses,
Yeah.
how they run in weather, how they run on grass, how they run in the mud, like all these kind of things. And he would sit, and they call it handicapping. You go through, and we would do that together the night before, go through every race and make our picks for hours and hours. And I loved it. I just loved it. And then you go out there, and gambling's another thing you can't fake. You put your money up, and you're going against like the smartest people in the world if you're trying to win at sports betting, because like Vegas hires the right people, the smart people, to like set the odds, to try to beat them is hard. So I've always liked things where you have to put stuff up, where you can't just say you're good without ever testing it. Like I think like rich people and politicians like always run their mouths, but they never take any risks.
Yeah, they're writing checks at their or they're writing checks with their mouth at their ass can't cash.
Exactly. They need to stick to the monetary checks.
Yeah. I'm just curious, how often did your grandfather win? Like what did he
broke even his whole life, and then he got Alzheimer's, and I think he ended up like $35,000 in debt.
Oh fuck.
And they had to mortgage their house.
Oh
So it was
jeez.
bad, like at that point, but that was straight up because of Alzheimer's. Before that, he, gambled. Like he'd go every weekend to the track. And then he had a bookie. Like back
Yeah.
then there was no internet, so you had a bookie. So it was good. But yeah, and when he had Alzheimer's, it went downhill pretty fast. So then
Okay.
we
Oh
would do
good.
betting together, and I was like, 13 or something.
No.
And I'd help him make the picks, and then grandma just made sure that we were on a budget. And
Yeah. Here's your $100. Don't blow it
right.
all. Yeah.
And we were fine with that. Like we'd go to the horse track and make $2 bets on each race, so
Yeah.
if you got lucky, it was good, and if not, it didn't cost you much.
Regarding gambling, and then we'll move on.
Mm.
There was only a couple times that, and it was once again it was in the real early 2000s. There was a couple times that scratch offs.
Mhm.
I would get a couple of them and I would scratch it. I only won like at the most be like $10, but it's like I knew when to stop. Like
That's
as
good.
as much as it is, it's nice to dream. Odds are it's going to cost more than you actually win.
Right. No, that's set up to beat you. Like
Yeah.
it's a fool's game. But
Okay.
we'd also
But
go to Vegas and Reno all the time with
mm,
grandpa, and that was really fun. And yeah, you lose. Like you have to think of it like I'm going on vacation, and how much would I pay to go on vacation? I pay $400. So, like
yeah.
you're budgeting that to lose. But I won $750 on a slot once. That's the most I ever won.
Well,
And
you probably did. You probably had a good night then after that.
it was cool because that was a time where grandpa had lost all his money, and me and my mom were playing dollar slots with just like we had like $20 or something,
Yeah.
and hit the 750. And so we split it between the three of us, which he was really excited about because I meant he was back in the game. But I didn't spend it. I bought, I mean, I didn't gamble it. I bought a DVD player and like 5 DVDs, which is how much you could get for $250 back
Yeah.
then.
Back then they were like Fort Knox.
Yeah, I never would have been able to get one otherwise.
Nowadays you can go to Walmart and get the fucking all three
You can,
movies of John Wick for like 15,
right.
$16.
Or you can go to Goodwill and buy a Blu-ray player for $10. Like, I can't believe you see Blu-rays there. But
Yeah.
I think the cool thing about our generation, or being as old as we are, it's like we've seen technology just nonstop change.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I'd rather have the older tech though. To be honest, it's more reliable.
Like VHS.
Yeah, VHS and cartridge-based video games. Where you don't
Oh,
have all the moving parts like you do in the Xbox and the PlayStation. Like
right. Well, now they're
I
digital downloads, so you don't. I mean, on solid state drives, like,
yeah.
but you have to download. It takes forever.
Okay, well, now it is my turn for my wild card choice. And
Mm.
it isn't anything fondly remembered like that. It's basically going to be me ranting.
Okay, good. I like that.
I fucking hate the traffic that the fucking Kelso City Council has created with this glorious idea of the fucking West Main realignment.
Oh, yeah.
I
Does it affect you? I mean, right around where you live there? Because I know it comes out there.
Well, it doesn't, since we live further in Kelso, it really doesn't affect us. But
Okay.
the thing is, like when I get picked up from work, sometimes we go down Ocean Beach Highway. You know where that junction is from Ocean Beach to, I think it's to Allen Street. It's where the old Office Max was that they've been tearing down.
Right. Actually, I lived in one of the houses there briefly with my girlfriend, and now it's gone. They tore it out.
Yeah, fucking waste of good property that was.
Yeah, they like to do that evidently, because you were just saying that other business took out some houses.
Yeah, but from like anywhere between 2 and 4, it is horrendous. I mean,
Gridlock.
blocks. I'm not talking about where that intersection is, but like me and mom, we were coming back from Walmart on Ocean Beach Highway, and we were going down Ocean Beach Highway heading towards Kelso, and like clockwork, we started approaching like where Taco Bell is.
Yeah.
And fucking line.
Mm.
And I'll be honest, I don't recall it being that fucking bad
Yeah,
before.
they where they're doing construction still, they've got a 4-way stop on a really terrible place.
Yeah.
And so, I mean,
And
4-way stops are slow.
and they choose the worst fucking, but really, is there ever a good time? But to me, they choose the worst fucking times to do this fucking work. Like
Yeah.
they could, honestly, if I had a choice, I'd rather have them doing the fucking work like during the summer.
Yeah.
Because granted, it's still gonna be a mess then, but when it's fucking spring and every winter, you have all the rain, congestion, mixed with the congestion of all the cars.
And school getting out. I mean, like from
Yeah,
2 to 4, like.
it's fucking bullshit. And then the thing was, I remember going down, oh god, Catlin Street, I think it is. It's where all the houses were condemned that they just tore down recently.
Mm.
They had those freaking houses condemned for over a year.
Yeah.
You're telling me you could, and reports were, well, we were trying to get all the paperwork done. You couldn't tear those fucking houses down then? you had to fucking wait when the construction was going on. Then you're going to tear down the fucking house. You already had them condemned. It isn't like you had to wait for any more, action to tear them down.
Right.
And it's just, I fucking.
It does seem crazy. I mean, over here, like with the Civic Circle that they've redone 3 times, like in the last 10 years. Sometimes I think, and there's like they took out all the trees on Commerce and then planted new trees, and I'm like,
yeah.
Sometimes I feel like they're just contracting, like there's some buddy friendly contract that the government is like, oh, we need to pay some people to do some work. Let's just have them redo this street again.
Well, mom, she says that they basically, have money that they got to burn through.
Yeah, that's disgusting though. That's not how life should work. Give it to poor people if you got money to
Yeah.
burn through.
And and this shit's been going on for years. I mean, the very beginning of the West Main realignment, it was when they first changed out the bridges.
Right.
That was like the very beginning of that, And they said, "Oh, this bridge is going to help." That bridge hasn't helped shit. It doesn't matter, because the thing is like that for the West Main realignment to actually have worked.
Yeah.
It needed oh god, that one building right across the street from the bridge that has like the picture on the side of it that's painted?
Yeah.
That building had to have been torn down when they were starting the whole realignment.
Right.
Well, a couple businesses ended up holding out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, one of them is Furniture World, which ended up moving, even though that they apparently, it was reported that they were going to be setting up, Furniture World in Kelso, since Kelso paid them to move, but they ended up somehow moving to Longview. And then another one was that fucking there used to be a hairstyling place, and they basically did the same thing. They moved into Longview, and then because of them holding out for so long, I'm guessing they cannot tear the building down. So now the building's fucking there, and it looks like a piece of shit.
Right. It does look condemned. Like it does. It looks like it's.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's some people. Oh, that building's old. It has to be. It needs to be on the historic registry. No, it's shit.
Yeah.
It is shit. There is little piles of pigeon shit underneath the goddamn awning. It's shit.
Well, nothing around here should be sacred. Like nothing around here is more than 100 years old. Like they destroyed all of the Native American history here.
Yeah.
So why does their history get to stand?
But I mean, I will be with mom, and we will be like, she'll pick me up at work after I get off, and we have all the buses we're contending with, along with traffic.
Yeah.
And we will be stuck. We will not even move a fucking city block.
Yeah.
Between light shifts,
That's frustrating.
And I will look at her in the car and be like, "Hey, mom, don't you just love how this new and improved fucking changes?" They could literally tear down 10 miles around that fucking bridge. It's not gonna fix it, because the problem is it isn't just by changing how the roads are.
Right.
you need a lot of space, and that's what
Right.
they can never understand. Like
And they just keep retrying new things that don't work and that
yeah,
like really obviously aren't going to work. That's what I always think is strange. Like, but like construction companies are famously like tied in with the mob and stuff, right?
yeah.
Like I work construction, so I just figure like because there's a lot of those around here, like we got a lot of like we got longshoremen, we got the union guys at the mills, like there's a lot of insider dealing, I bet,
No, I
going on
wouldn't
in
doubt
small
it.
towns across America.
But I mean, like, I really would love, I just honestly, it's time, and I just don't. I know nothing would really happen. But one of these days, I would love to just go to one of these fucking city commissioner meeting. Every that they have like every Tuesday. Sit in the
Yeah,
audience, and then we're like, okay, we're going to take questions from the audience. I'd be
yeah.
like, oh, I'd stand up and be like, okay, who, like, can you raise your hand if you voted for the second phase of the realignment? And then they raise their hand and be like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, what the, this isn't working. Like, you got that,
It'd feel
all
good
those
just to say
Benjamins
it.
you got to burn through, like,
Yeah, Sunny, my wife, always, she's from California, and she said that the layout of the town looks like it was designed by drunken squirrels.
yeah. Well, the thing is that, from what I understood, because, oh God, if I remember correctly, Ari Long, this was like, they consider Ari, Longview to be Ari Long's planned city. It's even on the
Right,
plaque.
it says that, right?
Yeah, it's on the plaque.
What a plan.
And the thing was, apparently, the way he originally had it set up was that you would have the main, like where the Monticello Hotel is. That was supposed to be like the main, part of the city, and
Mhm.
then it was supposed to radiate from there.
Gotcha.
But I don't think they anticipated on Kelso being there. Like,
Mm.
and now it's just
And
it's
even that's split up. Like Kelso's on both sides of the bridge, like
yeah,
First Avenue and everything on the
yeah.
Longview side. That whole area is Kelso, which seems
What
really
what they
weird.
what they and the thing is, I used to kind of joke about it, but I mean, like when I was going to Lower Columbia College, I'd be coming home like at 4 in the afternoon for my classes, and the bus would be on the Allen Street Bridge,
Mhm.
and you can really see a difference between the two cities. I'm not trying to sound mean, but you can really, isn't me or does Kelso look kind of more downtrodden than Long?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have as much space. I mean, smaller, obviously, and then it's all like hilly and weird, and so um, it feels like. I mean, it doesn't really feel like there's a downtown. Like it feels kind of thrown together.
Yeah, to me, it just looks like Longview is the rich city, and then Kelso's like the poor city. Like what you
Yeah,
kind of reminds me of like RoboCop 3 when they were tearing down the old neighborhood, and everything. That's what it kind of reminds me of. It's like old and everything, like
yeah. It
when,
just seemed like it's neglected.
yeah, that's the best word, neglect.
Yeah,
But yeah,
totally.
that's basically my wild card. I just wanted to get off my fucking chest about how much I
I
hate.
hate to leave the house even, so I don't have to contend with traffic all that much. And then
Yeah,
when I do, I'm like, well, we're all in the same boat. Like I'm one of like 60,000 people in the
yeah.
area, and we all have to deal with it equally. So I try not to get too
Well,
upset about it, but it is crazy just the amount of construction that they end up doing over and over and over again without seeming to improve anything.
yeah, and I just think that they could do better. The timing could be better though. It's just like
Absolutely,
they
yeah.
pick the shittiest of times to do this shit.
Yeah,
Like,
and I wonder why they do that. I mean, I guess, you know,
well, mom, she thinks that could be because like during the summer that they're trying to attract out of towners, and what
hmm.
out of towners would want to come through gridlock, So we'll just put the local residents through gridlock, and then the tourist who's going to come through this area either to Vancouver or to fucking Seattle, they can
Yeah.
see how nice it is, like,
Do we actually get tourists around
oh
here?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
really?
There's been some times that mainly the I'm not sure recently because of the fucking pandemic, but there used to be quite a few conventions that would be either hosted at the convention at the
Oh, the Red Lion.
fairgrounds or
Yeah,
at the Red Lion.
that's true.
And I also remember, not recently, but I remember fucking like when I would be walking the mall during the summer when I was going to, when I'd be out from college,
Mm.
tourist buses just coming to the Three Rivers Mall, and I would look at these buses. Why the fuck are you even here? There's nothing here.
Right.
Like the biggest thing is the fucking the goddamn gym, the Planet Fitness.
Oh, right.
And the thing is, they get off the bus at the mall only to walk all the way to Safeway to go to Starbucks. It's like, why?
Is there a town in America that doesn't have a Starbucks? Like,
no,
where are they traveling from that they need to go to Kelso
Yeah.
to go to a Starbucks?
Well, from what I heard that there's actually a small group of people dedicated to checking out like every Starbucks to see if they're different.
Oh, okay.
Like,
That's
to me, it's
interesting.
fucking stupid. Who pays $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 for a cup of coffee when you could do the shit at your home? Like,
I don't even know how to order there. Like, there's like 20 words in.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that I was recently on the news because I would check out Google News on my phone when I'd be waiting for the bus to go to work.
Mhm.
And apparently there's a trend on TikTok, out of all places, that apparently people are like having like 20 plus ingredients put into their fucking coffee at Starbucks. And it can't be, like specific amount. It has to be just right. Like not a full tablespoon of creamer, a half tablespoon. But you also got to make sure you put a little dollop of what? Oh, fuck you in your instructions. Give me coffee.
Just have a coffee. It's just caffeine and sugar, dude.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And it's actually causing, some of the baristas problems because they're trying to remember all these fucking useless goddamn instructions. And instead of actually feeling sorry for these baristas, the people who are giving them these shit-headed instructions, they're shitting on the baristas. Like, oh, you can't remember my fucking instructions?
Right.
What's wrong with you? It's only 25 ingredients.
What's funny is like this was a joke on an old Steve Martin movie. Like, I'm an encyclopedia of movies, but there was a movie called L.A. Story that Steve Martin was in, and there was a joke about how it would take him, 30 seconds to order a coffee. Like a half cappuccino Americano with whatever. Like, it was just like, and that's what they all have, their specific order. That's ridiculous kind of yuppie thing or something. But
and then I swear this is why I'm not in that business. Like being like either Starbucks or McDonald's, because I'm pretty sure that if I worked at Starbucks and they pull out their list of 30,000 fucking ingredients, I look at them and then I can imagine myself being in front of a judge at the fucking courtroom, and I look at the judge and say, "That's when I pull out my fucking shotgun."
I was thinking you were just gonna like spill the hot coffee right in their face or something.
Nah, because the fact is if just spilling the coffee, they would do it again. But if you shoot them, they're gone. No more of that fucking shit.
Well, I don't know if it'd be worth it, but first of all, don't bring a shotgun to Starbucks. Then you're fine.
Yeah, but it's just just a pet peeve. But so that is it for this episode of Shooting the Shit with Jeff and Aaron, aka Anavrin.
I already know what my next wild card's gonna be.
Awesome.
It's gonna be shocking. Look forward to that.
Okay. But so I will talk to you, after the show gets over. Me and Aaron are gonna probably talk at Messenger about ideas for the two open topics.
Oh yeah.
And do you feel like now I know you're with moving and everything, it's getting a little bit busier. Do you want to try again for next Saturday?
Yeah, let's plan on that. I think we can do it.
So next Saturday at 6 again. And to those who watch the Unsolved Mysteries commentary, which is probably very few on YouTube because I don't put it on YouTube anymore because YouTube is fucking bullshit with their algorithm and everything. Me and Aaron, we're going to be doing an episode of Unsolved Mysteries commentary, and it's going to be uploaded to Facebook. The episode is going to be about the Sarah Joe, which is a missing fisherman boat. The people went missing. Yeah.
Oh, sounds interesting.
Yeah. So that is it for this episode. Stay tuned. We will see you next Saturday at 6 p.m. Stay tuned and have a good day. Peace out, everyone.
Take care, everyone.